All right, so in this video, we are going to solve two-step inequalities. Again, it is exactly like equations. So the first step to solving any of these inequalities is to get rid of the plain number or the constant term. The second step is going to be to get rid of that number that is with or touching the variable. So, let's do a couple of examples. So again, just like in equations, just like in the one-step inequalities, we are going to identify the inequality with a line so we can see the left side from the right side. And the first step says to get rid of the constant term or that plain number that's on the same side as the variable. So my variable is over here on the left. The plain number that is not touching the variable would be the 2. So the opposite of -2 would be to add 2 to both sides. And working left to right, I didn't do anything with the 3x, so I'll bring it down. -2 plus 2 will go to 0, so we can cross it out. The inequality sign comes down, and 4 plus 2 is 6. And the second step is to get rid of the number that is with or touching the variable, which again would be that 3, and the opposite of multiplying would be to divide by 3 on both sides. So 3 divided by 3 leaves me with 1x is less than 6 divided by 3 is 2. So if we do a little number line, 2, our solution goes in the center. 0 is back here, so we'll put 1, 2, 3. And then we ask ourselves the question, is 2 less than 2? No. So that means I need an open dot there because that's not a solution or an answer. And then we shade the way the inequality tells us to, which is down. And our arrowhead and our inequality should be the same. So solutions would be 1, a half, 3/4, 0, -1/2, -15. Okay, anything down where it would be colored or shaded in. How about our next example? Again, identify our inequality sign and focus on the side that has the variable and get rid of that constant term, which would be the +2. So we would subtract 2 from both sides. 10 minus 2 will leave me with 8 is greater than or equal to. I didn't do anything with the m over 4. And +2 minus 2 goes away. The last one is to get rid of the number that's with the variable. The number that is with the variable is the 4. This little fraction bar tells me I'm dividing m by 4. So the opposite of dividing by 4 is to multiply both sides by 4. So 4 times 8 is 32. Is greater than or equal to. The 4's reduce themselves out and I'm just left with 4. And what's wrong with this answer? What do we not like? The variable's on the wrong side. Is it wrong? No, but it's a little bit trickier for us to graph. So we would pick this up and flip it around. So I'm going to flip the m to the right side, or the left side, excuse me. And I will pick this inequality sign up, and instead of being greater than, I'm going to switch it to less than or equal to, and the 32 will come over here to the right. Again, these two things are exactly the same. I did not change the answer, I just made it easier for us to graph. So again, here's a number line. 32 should go in the center. 0 is back here, so that's where we'll start counting. 31, 32, 33. And I ask myself the question, is 32 less than or equal to 32? Yes, so that means I need to shade in that dot because it is an answer. And then we can shade the way the arrow is pointing, which is down. And our inequality sign and our arrowhead should be the same. The last example, we identify our inequality sign, and what don't you like about this inequality? It's a fraction. And we know from this problem that this fraction bar means to divide. So if you don't like this whole thing being divided by 5, the opposite of division is to multiply by 5 on both sides. So the 5s will go away, and I'm left with the whole top of this fraction. So 1 plus a will come down, the less than or equal to sign will come down, and -1 times a +5 will give me -5. So those rules or those guidelines at the top are exactly that. There are guidelines. They work most of the time, but sometimes when you get something ugly, you have to change the rules a little bit. So, what number do I have to get rid of? I have to get rid of the constant term. The opposite of +1 would be to subtract 1 from both sides. And I get a is less than or equal to, over here, my signs are the same, so I'm going to keep it and add. 5 plus 1 is 6. So the -6 would go in the center of my number line. 0 is back here towards me, so that's where we'll start counting. -5, -6, -7. And we ask ourselves the question, is -6 less than or equal to -6? And the answer is yes. So that means we need to color in that dot because -6 is a solution. And then we can shade the way the arrow tells us to go. And our arrowhead and our inequality should be the same. Good luck.